Guys, when it comes to hygiene products, I never know what to pack. I hate buying those tiny shampoos, face washes, and body washes. What a waste. It's time to simplify travel with Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of a shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. You can also use it to create a rich shaving lather. So technically, it's a 5-in-1. And it's clinically proven to control odor for up to 24 hours. Mando's 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with the gentle hydroxy acid formula that stops odor at the source. So it's really the only thing you need to pack. You can get it in 3 cologne quality scents, like Mount Fuji, Bourbon Leather, and my personal favorite, Pro Sport, which is clean and citrusy. Right now, new customers can get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack with code Chael at shopmando.com. Mando starter pack comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. Let's get you started with the best deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code Chael at shopmando.com. Alex Pereira, shockingly, at least to me, called out Du Plessis. And Du Plessis is accepted, except at 205. Alex Pereira, this is a quote from Coach Cattle Prod. Alex Pereira will have the excuse of being sucked down, so we will go up. All right, now, I got to tell you, I like that. I like that from all sides. And you've got to understand, this is never going to happen. Like, this will never happen. And that's first and foremost. So I appreciate that DDP side recognized the ridiculousness and also recognized which side of the bread has the butter, which is Alex's, and realized, unlike most guys, I should keep this alive. This is good for me. He is a bigger star than I am. He's a bigger person than I am, in terms of just physical size. And I tell you that because I still like how it was played. I mean, Alex going after DDP was a surprise. Like, this was an opportunity for Alex, right? I mean, for a guy that is very stoic and is very quiet, he has very much been bitten by the bug. I don't blame him. For the record, go out and enjoy the ride. It ain't going to last that long. But for a guy that's very quiet and very stoic, once he says one word, chomo, he says one word. Boy, he sure finds a way to insert himself into things that are none of his business. So for me, it was just a little bit of a surprise, right? I mean, if you have a contract to fight somebody else, or the other guy has an opponent who, by the way, you've made friendly with. I mean, that Sean Strickland and Pereira, however that goes. But Pereira's quite a competitor. I mean, he's willing to come in and take this right from Sean Strickland. And I just share with you, like, I really like the concept from Pereira. Pereira is 1 win away. It's got to be at heavyweight. It's got to be a guy with a belt. But he is 1 win away from ending the conversation on GOAT. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm giving Pereira a hard time. I'm coming to you from a perspective of, it surprised me. It was very out of character for Pereira. Pereira had a golden opportunity to wish him well, kid. Hey, new era. I used to be king down there. Now these guys that I've knocked out are the #1 contenders. And look at this guy's come in and he sure looks like he's doing a good job. I'd love to work with him sometime. I mean, it's one of those things where he could have beat Dricus just by dismissing him, just by ignoring him. And he doesn't have to do it that way. I like him going after Tom. I like him going after John. I like him having Roundtree set up and not even addressing the fact that he had agreed to fight Uncle Ive and promised all of you it would be Uncle Ive. Like, I like that. I like a good troll. But if you're going to play that game, you got to have somebody to play back. And even though this completely is ridiculous, that fight is not going to happen. At least not in terms of Pereira cutting the weight and going down to 85. It does still beg the question. Very much so. Islam got tested with this, guys. I'm burying my league, but I promise you I'll make my point in just a moment. Islam gave champ status to somebody else. He would have really liked to have had champ status. So Islam even wanted to go up to 170 and fight Leon, but it wasn't about Leon. He wanted the opportunity for champ status, being as he did the same thing that Volk did, but the prize wasn't the same. A world champion on one hell of a streak took on a world champion on one hell of a streak. But it wasn't equitable based on victory. It's not usually done that way. I mean, that's a very unique situation. Generally in fighting, all your chips are in. It was a unique thing, and Islam had even made a comment saying, man, I like to be able to try to go for champ. I've given an opportunity not once, but twice. I don't need an opportunity twice, but I'd like one once. It was a very fair comment by Islam, and I'm just bringing it to you, like, for Du Plessis to accept that fight at 85, why? As the great Supernaw once said, what's the money on it, Haas? I mean, why would I let you in? It's not as though I deny that you're a great fighter. It's not as though I deny that you can do great in this division, considering I've seen you be the champion of this division. It's not as... So why would I welcome you in? Is there something big on that? Is there something I don't know about? Is that a bigger venue? Is that my ticket into somewhere? I mean, I'm open to the answer. So you see where Du Plessis and Coach Shockerfoot were very wise to accept. Of course you accept. You don't blink from that. You don't act as though the guys of yesterday could beat the guys today. You don't act like because you did something for me last week, you get the jump on me now. You quickly accept. It was very smart for them to say we'll go to 205. And I would like to know how that changes things. Like, I believe Alex Pereira. I take him sincere. When he says something, I believe him. When he said 30 plus 300 equals 3 or whatever that equation was that had to do with him going up and fighting Aspinall, I believe he would have done that. I believe if he could get the fight at 85, he would like to take that fight. I got to word it like that. Because him getting down to 185, right, it's a tough thing once you let your body go. Let it grow. But if that was all the case, what's on it for Du Plessis? Why would he be welcoming him? Like, what about that would be special? It would give some parity, right? You got the top three guys. From Du Plessis' standpoint, you got Strickland, got Adesanya. You might have an immersion of Chimaev, and if you don't, you're going to have Robert Whittaker. Like, check. He's done all of those things. To find somebody for Du Plessis, you instantly got to go to number 4 or 5 or worse. At least if you're going to get him some parity. So if you accept the fight, of course you accept it at 205. And then what does that do to Pierre? I would be very curious, right? Like, Pierre doesn't want to fight Du Plessis. This wasn't about fighting Du Plessis. He didn't care about Du Plessis. He liked the idea of champ. Well, Du Plessis likes that too. He also doesn't want to fight Pierre. But he will if the opportunities are. Do you see how it changes things? So when it's your idea, it's very hard to blink. It's very hard to blink when it's your idea. I mean, Alex said he wanted to do the fight, and he did get specific, and he did say 185, and he did say he'd be coming home. But Du Plessis is meeting them on the hard stuff. I'll meet you at the fight part. I'll meet you against champ versus champ. But I'm not putting my belt up. I was challenged. So now you got to give me something. We do it for your belt. I would just like to know where that changes things. I get that we're not going this direction, guys. I only can imagine the silliness of it. Dricus also is not going to get the opportunity to go to 205 pounds and do champ until he does a lot more work at 185. I mean, please don't think you have to correct me. I'm talking about the idea. I'm talking about the entertainment factor. I'm talking about the blinking. I'm talking about the alpha off between two guys. I'm talking about a line in the sand that got drawn by Alex, which was a bit of a surprise. He has something else to do. It looks like he has a couple of something else's to do. I'm talking about Ankalaev and/or Raychik after he gets done with Roundtree. But he quickly steers his attention to DDP, which of course has got to have, nobody's sweating more about that than Sean Strickland, who has got to be looking at the field and saying, hey, Alex, We've been training together, we've been cool with each other, and you know good and well that is my fight. And you just took, at least for the day, a whole news cycle worth of headlines off of me.